Okay, so I started off by placing the rock on some light diffuser just to help spread the weight on the bottom of the glass. I then went ahead and added in my sand. I went for some riverbed sand mixed in with some white sand, and I was really happy with the sort of natural look it created. And once I had the rocks all arranged in the right pattern and how I liked them, I decided it was time to fill up the tank, and I found the easiest and quickest way to do this was to pull the hose pipe in through the window, and I had the tank filled up in no time at all. After having the tank set up for a few weeks, I added in some established filter media into the filter of this tank and decided to add my fish. I added in 6 Neolamprologus Brichardi. Sometimes they're called the Princess Cichlid or the Brichardi. Really pretty fish. So as you can see here, this is a shot sort of a good few weeks after the tank had been set up. I did add a bit more rock. I thought it was looking a bit bare, and I added a few little bits of plants in. So I've got some floating duckweed, a few little bits of Java moss, a piece of Java fern, a couple crypts, and some Bacopa compacta. Now the fish were doing really well. I think in this video here they've been in the tank for about 2 weeks. They're growing. I unfortunately had to remove one of them because they were sort of bullying it slightly, so he moved into another tank, which you'll see in an upcoming video, and he's doing fine now. Here's them getting some food. Now, one thing I really like about this aquascape and the fish selection and the sort of aquascape choice is the black background. Because it's not heavily planted, the black background really lets those fish pop, and it's sort of a treat when they sort of come up to the top to eat. They do spend a lot of the time sort of going in and out of the holes of the holy rock, which you'll see later on in the video. But a really interesting cichlid. These guys are from Lake Tanganyika. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And they are just really cool rock dwelling cichlids. They don't get massive, they get sort of 4 to 5 inches. This tank should be okay for at least a pair. I'll have to see what happens sort of as time goes on. Strangely, they did sort of bully one of the fish out of the colony, which I found really strange, because these guys are what you would call colony breeders. So they produce fry, and the older fry look after the younger fry. The parents don't eat the babies, and you can end up with a tank filled with Brichardi of all different ages, and it can look stunning. Now, a lot of the inspiration I got for setting up this tank came from the YouTube channel Prime Time Aquatics. So be sure to head over there if you want any more inspiration for yourself. I did message them via Instagram, and they were happy for me to mention them in this video. And yeah, you know, it's worthwhile. We've got all these great places online to get inspiration, so we may as well use it. So huge shout out to Prime Time Aquatics. I find the behaviour of these guys really interesting. 1 minute I'll be looking at the tank and they'll be interacting with one another, using the hardscape, going through the holes, searching for food, and it'll be quite busy. And then other times I'm just sort of sat back and I'll glance over at the tank, and all of a sudden they'll be gone. It's just interesting, you know, it's so different to your normal sort of bread and butter fish, and these are a type of fish that I've really come to enjoy. I really enjoy sort of sitting down and spending the time to actually watch these guys. They're really interesting and a beautiful fish. I have seen them fully grown, and you know, they do get really nice fins and really nice colours on their cheeks. In terms of care, these guys are tropical fish, so I keep their temperature at about 78-80 Fahrenheit. They come from Lake Tanganyika in Africa, and that lake has quite high levels of hardness in the water, okay, so high KH, high GH, and luckily my tap water is pretty moderately hard straight out the tap. You can also do things like adding in certain rocks, and you can add in aragonite sand. This will boost your hardness if you live in a softer water area. But that's something to bear in mind when planning on keeping any of the sort of Lake Tanganyika cichlids. I think is also the same with the Malawi cichlids. And most of the time when you see these guys in setups, they're in what you would call a biotope, so sort of rock and sand only, which can look really cool, and I have seen some amazing ones online. I've done a lot of research, but for me personally, I like to get a bit of greenery in there when I can. I'm sure you guys are aware, a lot of my tanks in the past have lots of plants, so I snuck a few plants in there. It's not a biotope tank, but the fish will benefit from the plants. The plants will help pull nitrates from the water, and I think it looks pretty cool. So yeah, what I'd like is for you guys to leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like the scape of this tank? Do you like the fish selection? Have you kept these guys in the past, or any other fish from Lake Tanganyika? I really want to know, and I'm sure other people would in the comments. So let's really try and band together and yeah, let people know your experiences. And these are a fish that I'm going to be focusing on in the future. I find them really interesting, and I hope you do too. Now, some of you might be sat at home thinking about starting up your own sort of cichlid aquascape, or any aquascape really, and maybe you want some cool hardscapes, some cool wood and rock for your tanks. Some people suggest to pop down to your local hardware shop, which can work, you know, if you want to get some big rocks for a really big Malawi cichlid tank, that, you know, there's no harm in it. But I'm sure a lot of you guys might be sat at home wondering where I get all these specific types of rocks from, you know, and especially some of the rock with a lot more detail on it. So I actually popped down to my local fish shop. A lot of local fish shops sell, you know, a variety of different stones, different colors of stones, different textures. So this holy stone that I've used in this tank is white in color, and that's what I desired. And it also sort of suits the fish's needs. It's got holes in it, and the fish can sort of dart in and out of the holes, and if they have any fry, the fry can hide in the holes, and I thought it'd be a really cool look. So yeah, if you're in the process of setting up your own aquascape and you're wondering where to get some cool rocks from, maybe you want to try a different type of rock out, head down to your local fish shop. It's always good to help local businesses. I got my hardscape from my local fish shop, Maidenhead Aquatics, here in the UK, over in Ashtead. So huge shout out to those guys. Okay guys, thank you for sticking around to the end, it really means a lot. So here is the tank as of today, the final day of filming, and as you can see, it's going through its ugly phase. There is a bit of a diatom bloom, that brown sort of algae, which should pass in time, and nothing to be alarmed about. And as you can see, the fish have grown quite a bit since the last sort of few weeks. You can see the fish have gotten a bit bigger. So thank you for sticking around. I just wanted to give you a quick look at this tank sort of as a whole as well. And as you can see, it's looking pretty good. Obviously once that diatom bloom dies off. But the tank itself, the Oase Styleline 125, I have to admit I'm really impressed with the build quality. I'll be doing a review on this tank very soon. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in seeing. But until then guys, I'll keep you updated, and I'll have lots more videos on the way. But I hope you enjoyed. Catch you again soon. Take it easy. Bye.